Hey there, Tario Frost here, back again for another deck profile, a Card Fight Vanguard deck profile. This one is for the V Standard series. It is the same deck I used in the Overdressed to Impress tournament that the Casual Card Gamer set up, and I wanted to kind of share what I used and maybe some of the thought process of why I had what I had in this deck. And maybe just show you a small space or a small part where you can start for the standard series. This is a Narukami clan, the Eradicators, mostly the Eradicators. But and I will put a link into the description for the playlist and to his channel. That way you can see just like how the tournament went and is going, since I believe he's just in the Final Four right now, or he's uploading the Final Four right now, so you can see where he's going or how it's going. But let's start. We got our starter, the Eradicator Spring Light Drago Kit. Effect is basically the same as like every other starter almost. When it's written upon, you can draw one card, and if you're going second, you get to add a quick shield to hand. Pretty standard. Then the grade 3s. I have 4 Eradicator Dragonic Descendants. And I have 3 Gauntlet Buster Dragons. I love Gauntlet Buster, but I think this ratio of 4 Dragonic Descendants and 3 Gauntlet Buster Dragons is preferable, because you're going to be riding Dragonic Descendant over Gauntlet Buster, and there are ways to be able to draw and search the top 5 cards of your deck very easily with the cards you have. Gauntlet Buster, you can counterblast 1 to get rid of your opponent's front row, then like both front rear guards. Front row rear guard, if I can talk. Then they can push 1 from the same column in the back up, and it's not limited to once per turn. You can use it multiple times. Then it gains plus 5,000 and plus 1 critical for each open spot in the front row. Rear guard that your opponent has, so it gains up to 10,000 and plus 2 critical. Then with Dragonic Descendant, 1 is written on top of an Eradicator, it gains those abilities of the one it is written upon. So if you write it upon Gauntlet Buster, it gets Gauntlet Buster's effect along with its own. So it can get that plus 10,000, the plus 2 critical, and it can stand up after it attacks, which is just overwhelming. Then that's it for the grade 3s. Onto the grade 2s. First up, arguably one of the most important ones, we got Zuitan Eradicator, Supreme on the Eradicator, Zuitan. This is much support for Gauntlet Buster as well. When it attacks, I believe when it succeeds, oh no, it's just when your opponent's rear guard is bound during your turn, this unit and all Gauntlet Buster Dragons on the Vanguard and rear gain plus 5,000 until end turn. Then at the same time, when it's in the rear, at the end of battle, it attacks a Vanguard. If your opponent's front row has no rear guards, you can put this in your soul and draw a card. So it's a way for you to attack. You can put it in the soul, and then you can draw a card to try and get more card advantage for guarding. You can try to get a Dragonic Descendant. It's just very useful for trying to fill your hand out after a turn of using it very much. Then next up, we got 4 Eradicator Spark Raised Dragons. Similar thing, but when it's on the Vanguard, or when it's placed on the Vanguard, you can search the top 5 decks, or the top 5 cards of your deck for an Eradicator card and add it to hand. Of course, you'll have to discard a card after that, but it's just a way for you to get what you need that turn. as well as for the turn coming up. So if you need a grade 3 still, this can be your time to get that grade 3, or if you need more shields, it's time to get more shields. So it's just very useful for that. It can only use that in the Vanguard circle, but it gives you a grade 2 that you want to put into the Vanguard circle. Then the last one, we got Cho-Oh for a bit more power. Literally there for power, because so you would attack with Cho-Oh, then your Vanguard. Then if your Vanguard hits, you can stand Cho-Oh back up and attack once more to try and just deal more damage early on. Then that's the grade 2s. Onto the grade 1s. We are starting off with Ceremonial Bonfire Eradicator Caster. This one is there for like early game rear guard usage, because when it's in the rear guard and it attacks, I believe. No, when placed on the rear guard, you can discard one card from hand and find one of your opponent's rear guard front row units, and it gains 5,000. This card gains 5,000. So it's very useful early game to find one of your opponent's front row rear guards and to gain 5,000. So it's a beefier grade 1 unit for especially if you go first. No, it's second really. So you can attack with this card at plus 5,000. So it can at 13,000 power. For a rear guard grade 1, you don't have to rely on attacking with your Vanguard first to get a trigger. Then we got Mighty Bolt Dragoon. Kind of similar to Spark Rays, where you can search the top 5 cards of your deck, but for a specifically grade 3 unit. So if you didn't start off with a grade 3, even after the mulligan, if you don't have a grade 3, you can use this. Search for a grade 3, add it to your hand, but you have to discard a card when you add one to your hand. Just really simple way to just manipulate your hand a little bit more. Then, one of my favorite grade 1s, Isolation Eradicator New School. I love New School. Same thing as Mighty Bolt Dragoon, but for Eradicators. You search the top 5 cards of your deck for an Eradicator card and add it to your hand, then discard one card. These two early game, great for trying to get the units you need for later game. Like grade 3 or any Eradicator monster, just really useful early game. I love New School. Funny enough, when I was practicing with the casual card gamer, I played New School just about every match we played. He got real tired of New School real quick. Then for the grade 0s, the only 2 grade 0s that aren't triggers are the 2 Electric Chase Draco Kid. It's really there for really early game retirement of your opponent's front row rear guard, because when it supports an attack that goes through, you can pop one of your opponent's front row rear guard. That's really it. Then I also have 2 old Dragon Mage, 2 draw triggers. I also have 4 heal triggers in Worm Toxin Eradicator Sayobo. I probably butchered that name. I know for a fact I did. Then I have 6 total crit triggers, 4 Spark Edge Draco Kids, and 2 Malevolent Djinn. And then I have 4 more draw triggers in the perfect cards of Wyvern Guard Gold. Now with this lineup, I have 6 draw triggers in order to draw as many cards as possible. The 4 heal triggers, obviously, so I can heal. They're only limited to 4. Then the 6 critical triggers to try and deal as much damage as possible. Because if I get a critical trigger with Gauntlet Buster when it's already at like 2 crits or even 3, if it's at 3 and I draw 1, it's going to deal 4 damage if it goes through. And that's just unbelievably insane if it goes through, especially late game when they might not have as many heal triggers or shields in their hand. So it's just trying to deal as much damage as possible and trying to draw as many shields as possible. So that's the trigger lineup, and that's the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay frosty, my friends.